MMAfighting.com, and I am joined by Ryan Chaos Curtis, who returns to action at Bellator Dublin against Louis Gonzalez. It's been a long time, Ryan. How are you getting on, my friend?
I'm getting on good, yeah. Just training away, training hard, and looking forward to the fight.
How has that been these last 18 months? I mean, everybody, you're one of the guys everyone's kind of talking about in Irish MMA, one of the upcoming prospects. Has it been tough? Like, I mean, why has there been such a gap between the last two performances?
It's just the last time those promised fights, I was supposed to fight here, I was supposed to fight there, and to be honest, like, the MMA scene in Ireland went a little bit dry for a while, so this is the first really big card back since then, you know. Well, there was one that I was supposed to fight on, and then that fell through, but other than that, yeah, there hasn't been a lot of shows in Ireland since then, you know.
Yeah, you know, 100%, and you're coming off that fight with Daniel Barres, of course. That was your first professional loss, but it was crazy back and forth fight, you know. You go down the first round, he's down the second round, tough third round. How does that change you? Like, you know, does that kind of change your outlook on the sport? It's like, I remember when Paddy Hewlin lost his first fight, he was like, I actually feel great now, because I was worried about that ahead of every fight. Like, how did you take it?
I took it good, like, you know, because it was good back and forward fight, and, you know, one thing obviously that I always knew in my head anyway, I personally knew, but I think I showed a lot of people that, you know, when I said it, I don't say it to just say things like that, but I'm willing to die in there. You're gonna have to kill me dead to get me to stop. And, you know, I felt like those, like, people even said to me that there was a few times in the fight where, like, Jesus, you could have easily gave up there, but, you know, I'm not going anywhere. You know, if you're gonna get me out there, you're gonna have to spark me out cold or choke me out unconscious, and I'm not going out there easy. Fuck that.
It must be an even added pressure, because, like, as soon as we expect to see your name on these 3 arena shows, because you've got such a huge fan base, obviously growing up in the north inner city, that must be that must be like a second opponent, having like everyone in your family, your friends, like hundreds of people there just to see you. Is that something that you have to learn how to deal with as well?
I've always had big crowds with me, you know, but
even as an amateur, I remember.
Yeah, it's just some people take it as kind of added pressure, to be honest. Like, I don't really ever feel like I fight for me, and, you know, don't get me wrong, everybody's there, and I do it for them as well, you know, but I never go in there thinking, oh, such and such is watching me, I'm going in there, and when they close the cage, it's only me and him, and I don't really care about anybody else out there. But don't get me wrong, this time the Chaos Cartel will be there shouting, so yeah, I've always had a big fan base, so.
It's interesting, right, because Bellator don't usually do many flyweight fights, and here you are on this card. Is this a one-fight deal? Like, do you think, like, I believe Owen Roddy told me, like, this is a one-fight thing. Yeah. Do you believe this will open up doors with Bellator, or what do you hope to gain from this?
Well, this is the first ever flyweight bout in Bellator, so yeah, it's good. It obviously a big brand like Bellator, like one of the biggest shows in the world, if not the biggest show in the world at the moment, you know. So of course, like, that raises me stock for other shows, and, you know, everybody looking from the outside saying, who's this guy? And I genuinely believe that that I'm the one, I'm going to be the next one from Ireland that people want to see, you know, because I can do it all, you know. I speak well, and I fight well, and I bring a good fight every time. I have good fans, and
great hair.
Great, you know what I mean? Some people have it all, you know.
You were the guy, like, I mean, when I think about it, a lot of people, because of the division you're in, because of the UFC, was always looking for talent in that section. People were always like, you know, Ryan is going to go to the UFC. Because of the UFC situation with flyweight, you know, Demetrius Johnson's gone to ONE FC, although they haven't won championship, should I say, although they haven't shut it down and said, we're definitely shutting this down. There was all that talk ahead of Cejudo, Dillashaw, he's fighting for the division. Yeah. Does that take the wind out of yourselves to a certain extent, as a promising flyweight who's kind of always had the UFC on their mind?
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, like, from when I first walked into the gym, and I don't think do things in half measures. I wanted to be a UFC champion from the first week I walked into the gym. That's where I wanted to be, you know. But to a degree, like, you with the UFC, like, you can't even blame them, because you have a lot of donkeys in the division. Do you know what I mean? You look at Henry Cejudo, he's running up on the stage, banging stupid snakes off the floor. You know what I mean? Demetrius has the bleeding personality of a flip-flop. Do you know, like, you know, you need somebody in there like me, and that's what I always had in my head. I'm like, right, you obviously you have the skills, you know, you speak well, you know. Irish is just being like, that's nearly just the
golden ticket these days.
you know. So that's what I always had in my head. Like I always kind of said to myself, you only need to get in there and just show them what you can do, and everything else will look after itself. But in terms of the UFC, like, you know, you can't tell, like, it makes me mad that they're talking about shutting down the division, but it's a business as well at the end of the day. And you know, we've probably more people watching blading volleyball than their fights, you know. So
one championship, like, because they're obviously got Demetrius there, widely considered the greatest flyweight who ever lived. Like, are you open to these kind of different promotions as well? Like, because I always figured you, like, I could be wrong in this, like, you weren't killing yourself to get down to 125. You're very much a natural 125er. So it's not like you can just move up the bantamweight and be completely content, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Them shows interest me. Obviously, at the beginning, I was like, no, UFC. But at that specific time, I was like, that was like the only well, in my mind, the only like high level show, you know, like that was the Premier League, and everything else below was just, that was whatever, you know. But now you have Bellator, like, one, Brave is up there too, you know. So there's plenty of shows, like, and obviously plenty of shows with good money is, like, definitely we're all here to earn good money too, you know, and all them shows pay good, so even Bellator. So
is this, what do I always see it now, you're obviously known for your fantastic boxing ability. You've two uncles that run a boxing club, as far as I remember. Obviously you've trained under Roddy from such a young age. Is the perfect result here a signature KO from Chaos to put yourself in the shop window to all these other promotions, and Bellator, of course, with a view to your future competition?
Like, it definitely, like you say, like, me dad's family was boxers, and me ma's family were boxers. Me two uncles down at St. Saviour's. There was an avenue around where I live called Champions Avenue, and it's actually named after my granddad and one or two other world champions. So yeah, it's definitely that. But the thing about it was I've grown up, I don't really know. I love boxing now because of MMA, but I never really loved boxing as a kid. But make no mistake, when I walked into the gym the very first time, like, I was one of the new breed, you know. I wasn't training just boxing or just doing jiu-jitsu. I was doing it all from the very go, but from the very start, should I say.
So your hands were just something that just kind of naturally came out?
Yeah, but like, I do understand from a business point of view, people want to see knockouts. I don't really agree with it all the time, because you have, like, it's like, unfortunately, like, probably 80% of the fan base are, you know, people standing at the bar, oh, knock them out, you know, with a bottle of beer in their hand. But that's the people you have to please, and that's the people you have to please to make money, and it is. And plus, like, I do like to knock people out, so, you know what I mean.
It's funny when we look at the card, like, you've got one of the strongest tests. Like, some of the matchups have been criticised by, like, some of the SBG guys. People think they've got favourable matchups. You've got a guy a lot more experienced than you who's been competing regularly. Like, is that the way you like it now? Like, you want to go in there and put yourself in the lion's den, so to speak? Yeah,
of course. Well, like, Owen always says to me, like, it's a bit of a problem with me because I'm obviously so good, and like my record is like, I haven't had too many fights, so obviously the more experienced guys are looking at me saying that's a dangerous fight, and
they don't want you to steal their momentum, kind of.
Exactly, you know. So yeah, but like that, you know, I'll fight anybody. I believe in myself and I believe in my skills. To be honest, I don't really think much of them touch me, you know, like, in terms of skill and like I said, like, sometimes people, they have the skills, but then they get hit and they curl up. But like I said, like, I've the heart of a lion, you know. You're not getting me out there, and, you know, I don't think you should resort to that. Like, just going, like, if you're going in, like, no skills and just want like a knock all the time, like, you're gonna be in a dribbler by the time you're 40, you know, and that's not gonna be me. I move my head and I hit clean, I hit well, but when it gets tough in there, I put my head down and, right, let's go, we're having a strain on. That's the way it is, you know. Finally,
do you have a prediction for how it's going to go down?
Obviously, I'm definitely going to get the finish, you know what I mean? There's no doubt about that, but I don't really have, I don't want to say it's going to go this way or it's going to go that way, but I know I'm going to put him away early, whether it be striking or submission or whatever, you know, because I don't want people to just think, oh, he's a submission artist or he's a knockout artist, I can do it all, like, best believe that, you know, and I'm coming in to put him away early. That's one thing that I can promise you that I'm a finish on. He's getting put away.
Brilliant, man. Thank you so